Welcome back. We have our cube prepped. Let's go to Photoshop. We're going to take some croppings out of our information here to make symbols in Illustrator. We just set our crop tool up. So click on the crop tool. Then up here, by default, ratio should come up, so you want to click from ratio to height and width and resolution. And I was doing this earlier, so mine is already preset. But you'll want to set your width to 2, your height to 2, and then your resolution to 300. The reason why the resolution is going to be 300 is so that we get as much information that we can, so we can better trace with the pen tool once we get into Illustrator. Now the 2 inches by 2 inches, you can see here my crop has already been set, and that everything within here is 2 inches by 2 inches. Doesn't matter if it's this big or this big. Everything within there is going to be 2 inches by 2 inches once we're done. I'm going to zoom in. And what I'm looking for is I want to find 4 to 7 pieces. So pieces of black and white within the crop area. And this moves a little funny. So if I click inside this crop area, we'll move my entire background while the crop area stays centered. And if I click outside of the crop area, everything else turns. So it'll make more sense once you start using it. I kind of like what I picked up here. And all of this is in Blackboard also. So this white area here would count as 1 piece. This black area here is 2. This one here is 3. This one has way more than the number of pieces I'm looking for. So let's do this. Here we've got 1. We got 2. So here makes 3. We got 4 and 5. This down here makes 6. So this is a good crop right here. So I'm going to go with this one. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to hit return or enter. And that's going to crop out my area here. And then what I want to do is I want to do a file, save as. And I've already got, I named a folder cropping, so my croppings can go in there, and I'm just going to call this one number 5, and I want to save it as a JPEG. All right, let's go through that again. I need to get my cube back, so I'm going to go up to Window and pull up my History palette. And I'm going to go back from my crop history entry here. And that'll give me back my cube. So I can make another cropping. I'm going to make a total of 5 croppings to make symbols out of. So let's look around up here. I'm going to zoom in. This one here is good. We have 1 up here, 2, 3. This black piece here will be 4. And this down here will be 5. And up there will be 6. So this is a good one. I'm going to hit return. I'm going to do a file, save as. Call this one, let's save this one as a JPEG. And I have 6 now because I was doing this earlier, but you're going to have 5. So let's save that one and then hit OK. I'm going to go back one and zoom out. Okay, we have our 5 symbols that we've cropped out. We're going to move those to Illustrator, but before we do that, I am going to trace out this cube and get rid of the white background. So what I want is my marquee tool. Or not marquee, I'm sorry, magnetic lasso tool, which operates kind of like the marquee tool. So I'm going to click around it, and I'm just going to draw a cube shape, or an outline around my cube. Just like I'm doing here. And you're going to trace around it like you would with the pen tool in Illustrator. You'll notice when I get back to where I started, a little circle appears around next to my cursor. That means it's completing the shape. So I'm going to click there, and we have what's called the marching ants. That means I have this in the middle here selected. And I want to delete everything around the outside. If I hit delete now, it's going to kill the middle, which is what I don't want. So I want to go to select, and then inverse, and what that does is selects the outside now. So again, marching ants around our cube and around the outside of our artboard. And when I hit delete, it's going to delete everything but the cube, which is what we wanted. And then I'll go select and deselect for it to stop the marching ants, or to deselect what's on the artboard. And then I need to save this out. So I'm going to do a file, save as. I want to save this as a TIFF. TIFF's going to give us a lot more information so we can keep all those finer details when we get to Illustrator. And I'm going to save this under croppings, and I'm going to call this one, I'm just going to call it cube. Cube, it's a TIFF file. And then I'm hit save. And by default, everything here is okay, so I'm going to hit OK. So increase the file size, that's fine. We're going to hit OK. Alright, so when you're done, you should have 5 images that you've cropped out, along with your TIFF file of your cube. Once you have those ready to move on to Illustrator, I'll stop this video and start a new one for when we go to Illustrator.